What's up, you guys? Did you miss me? Yes, Chet Guthrie the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with another fun-filled vlog here in the state of Florida. Time to anchor down for another vlog. Y'all are probably wondering where I have been the last couple of weeks. I really haven't been able to do any kinds of uploads. I was actually helping a friend, well, actually a couple friends of mine, move into a new apartment of theirs. So I really haven't had much time, but I'm glad to see that people are enjoying my recent videos. I do recommend checking out my NASA Kennedy Space Center video. That's a really cool one. But today, guys, we're going to talk about where we are going today. And that is Fort Clinch. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Florida has more than one fort. Yes, I'm pretty sure for a lot of tourists around here, they probably think of the only fort being around here is the Castillo de San Marcos, otherwise known as the fort. But no, construction on this fort started in 1847, and it went through a developmental hell for about the next 20 years. You see, this fort has been through quite a lot. Around 1862, about 2/3 of the building was complete, yet it had no guns in it. Around this time, during the Civil War, the Union quickly took control of Florida. They took control of Fort Clinch, and it never really saw any battle. And then, well, it goes under again a caretaker status. Best way to call it, it goes dormant until one last time during World War II. And again, this will be a surveillance point for all the soldiers, all the naval men in this, well, in our Army, in the United States Army. Now, sometime around 1929, the United States military will sell off Fort Clinch because it no longer has any value. But the state of Florida quickly will purchase this property in 1935, and this is when the United States Conservation Corp will take over, and this will become a state park. Yes, I know I've talked a lot, so let's get inside. I'm very excited. Time to anchor down for another vlog. Let's do it. Yes, by the time this fort is completed, it will pretty much be obsolete. Okay, now here we go over the moat. Oh, this is going to be cool. Oh, this is really neat. Dude, just check out the corridor coming into Fort Clinch. I really dig this. Kind of excited, not gonna lie. Now, I want to mention how Fort Clinch is constructed. It's very much constructed like an irregular pentagon. The east end facing the the ocean. Now, you might think this to be some kind of unfinished battery or some kind of storage unit that, well, got blown up during war. However, that's not really the case. Actually, this is the unfinished officers' quarters. Yes, despite all the efforts that went into trying to finish this fort, it never got finished. And again, one more time it got put in, well, actually the first time it got put into caretaker status was in 1867. So sadly, this building never saw completion. I will say though, I really dig those cannons. Well, this is definitely a very interesting spring system. Looks like you could empty water out through the faucet. You got this pretty cool drain area. I guess they still use that. But now let's go into the first building. Oh yes, this feels nice. There is a really, really nice draft. Oh, and that just looks like a door. However, let's get back on track. I am assuming this goes out to the main deck. I think so. Let's check it out. Well, not exactly. Kind of looks where men could stand guard, stand watch. Okay, now that really didn't lead to anywhere that I thought it would. You see, these tunnel systems that you see right here, they are all throughout this fort. That's one of the cool things about this type of fort, is all these quarters, all these bedrooms. By the way, this fort was constructed initially to house 500 men. It's all built into the rock in the hill. I don't know, I just think that's pretty cool. And I am assuming you cannot go in here. Well, that's a bathroom. We can't really go in there, but I really wouldn't want to. But still, I guess this is one of the batteries where they kept all the gunpowder. Y'all see that right there. Now, I guess since we can't go into the buildings, I guess we can at least look at them from the outside. Let's check. Ooh. That's pretty cool. Yes, if I am not mistaken, this is the kitchen area. From what I'm not mistaken here, the room right next to it is the laundry room. I guess back then they even had to do the laundry. Oh, well, this is neat. Huh, this is one of their batteries. Look at all those cannonballs. Gunpowder, ammunition. And you gotta think, the bricks were left there. Ghosts in time. Lost in the shadows of war. Okay, now since we saw the kitchen area and one of the ways that leads to the walkways, we're gonna check out this building right here. This center structure right here. This is the store building. So I guess I'm assuming this is where they stored all their goods. Look at all that gunpowder. And if you look close enough, you can see where soldiers etched their names into the brick. That graffiti is pretty awesome. See what's in here. Well, again, this is the storehouse, so it looks like this is where men would come to eat, buy stuff, buy goods from the commissary. I think that's prison though, but still, lost in the shadows of time. I kind of wish we could go in there, but probably due to COVID restrictions, I don't think that's in the cards right now. Or maybe we're not even allowed in here. Well, this looks like this was the original steps that went up to the main watchtower. Now, we will be going up to the main gun deck here in a moment. I just think That's really fascinating because that's the original stairwell that many of these soldiers throughout the 93 years this place was used would go up and down and keep watch for really a war or a battle that would never happen, especially for a fort that would never see much use. Well, take that back. This, well, was the communications quarters, or where many of these soldiers, it was a communications post. That's the word I'm looking for. We are going to look at one more building, or two more, before we go up to the top. We're gonna check out this building real quick. And actually, speaking of being unfinished, this is the unfinished officers' quarters. Again, we can't really go in there. Just look how big that room is. Check out the ceiling to that as well. God, kinda hate that this thing never really saw its completion. But you do gotta think of those who came here and used it, well, as a communications post. For the word, yeah, probably be looking your head. Yes, I believe that's a proper way to call it, communications post. Or correction, a base of operation. That's what I was looking for. Yes, this was mainly used as a base of operation. That's what I was trying to say. Check out all those bunks. Gotta think. 500 men, but it never had 500 men. And there goes a wasp. I think that is a sign that we need to walk away. Kind of looks like this is where they packed up all their guns and cannons and all their other good military stuff, and they went up that ramp there. Again, all original. And it's kind of fascinating that one side you have windows and the others are blocked off. Kind of makes you wonder. Okay, now, since this is an unfinished officer's quarters, the front of the building looks totally complete. The back, however, not so much. I guess this is kind of a recreation of how they built this building, or never really finished it. I guess if they added like posts, handrails, that would probably be safer. Probably. It looks like there are some modern day repairs as well. Huh. Maybe one day in the future we will get to go up there. Maybe. And if you can't really tell, yes, it's very, very windy. But before we go up to the main gun deck, we are going to check out the guard room and the prisoners' quarters. Let's do it. Alrighty, this is the guard shack. And again, nothing a whole lot impressive, but let's check out the next window right here. Okay, now that is pretty nifty. Pretty nifty recreation. Gotta think, all the guards would have stayed here. Okay, last but not least, or maybe, wait, this must have been the captain's quarters. So maybe the other one was the prisoner's quarters. So I have, oh, the guard room? Yes, sir. All right, well, thank you. So yes, actually, I was correct me. Yes, this is actually the guard's quarters. Now, the one that we saw prior, that was the prisoner's quarters. So I kind of messed up a little bit on that one, but that is perfectly fine. Okay, I'm guessing this is how we go and get to the top. Very dark. Very ominous. It's just like it keeps going and going and going. not freaky at all. Okay, maybe it is just a little bit freaky. Just a little bit freaky. Okay, again, I take that back. I guess this is not the way to get to the top. Well, or is it? One second, we won't go there just quick. Let's check out the battery. Dude, this room is ginormous. Just check that out. That is really, really. There's a person walking out there. Cool. Okay, now I wonder what is in here. Okay, now this is even scarier.
What do you see?
But this is really, really cool. I think we're gonna go to the top now. Okay, now it looks like we can get to the top going through here. It's very, very, very cram-packed.
Water would actually flow out. But water could come down the steps, yeah.
But this is really cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Keeps going and going and going. Okay, now, so yes, this is
No, it does not.
the top. Just check this out. Okay, now, where we are at, this is the north bastion of the fort. Yes, this is the north watchtower. Bastion, watchtower. Kind of the same thing. Let's get back down. Let's do it. And just for posterity's sakes, we will film this going down just because I love how narrow it is going all the way to the bottom. Dude, this is so cool. Check this out. It feels like some kind of castle. Well, in a way, technically it is a castle. Okay, so I guess the only way that we can get up to the main turrets is going up the ramp. Well, pretty much how they got these guns up here. I'm getting a little bit tired, I'm not going to lie. Okay, now, in a previous video at Jekyll Island, Georgia, I did find two of the quote-unquote lost cannon emplacements. Let me show you all what those things actually were. You see, what I found in the underbrush of Jekyll Island is this bottom piece right here, or at least the bottom rust, and that's what actual turrets look like that these things used to swing on. But sometime in the 1890s, 1910 I believe it was, they did remove those guns from those turrets at Jekyll Island, Georgia, which, by the way, we are not even like 5 minutes away from the Georgia state line, or Florida Georgia state line. But I just wanted to show everybody this. Now, much like those cannon emplacements at Jekyll Island, Georgia, these were also mounted here during the Spanish-American War. You see, up until this time, Fort Clinch, well, as I've stated throughout many times in this video, it was under caretaker status. But after the explosion of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor, it ignited the usage of this thing once more. For the first time, Fort Clinch had guns mounted on its decks. It was readied for war. Although If anyone doesn't know, the Spanish-American War was very, very short-lived. And really, these cannons, like those cannon emplacements at Jekyll Island, Georgia, the same ones that I found, they were mostly used for target practice. They would shoot out into the river. They would stand watch. A couple of years later, probably not even that, everything would go quiet once more. Now we are going to walk along the main gun deck just a little while longer, just to really check out and see what they have here. Kind of looks like this is the leftovers of a few of those guns, or I should say the main foundations of the gun deck. There's a chimney. There's probably a dad joke there somewhere, but I cannot think of it at the moment. But just check out the courtyard. Gotta think probably all those tents, all those captain or all those officers' quarters that were being at least mildly used for a time. Kind of sad, but then again, by the time this thing got, or this fort, I should say, got out of developmental hell, it was pretty much already obsolete, sadly, which is kind of very sad because honestly, this place really reminds me of Fort Sumter. Then again, I mean, Fort Sumter, it was pretty much a similar military artillery base, although that one saw war. If anyone doesn't know, Fort Sumter was the fort that kind of kicked off the Civil War, the war between the states, Confederacy and the Union. I mean, it's got other names, but this one, however, it was a Union fortification or a Union base of operations. Still, never saw any battle, but you got to think this is kind of like a communications base where they would watch the open sea for anything that looked suspicious. Now, I did hear from one of the ladies at the front desk that you can see some submarines that I believe are the US Navy's that'll pop up occasionally. I think it's mainly because that Mayport, well, actually, yeah, a naval base, Mayport, it really isn't all that far from here. So that probably explains it all the more. Okay, now that was really, really awesome. I think for future reference, I will definitely be coming back to Fort Clinch. This was definitely a very interesting walk into the past, especially with a fort that was so well kept. Now, here at Fort Clinch State Park, there is also a really, really cool museum. It's actually on the way in. I just wanted to step out and see the fort first. So, without further ado, we're going to check out the museum real quick. And I think we're going to call this one a day. For anyone who doesn't know, this fort was named after General Duncan Lamont Clinch. Very, very well-known general. Yes, this mannequin right here, it kind of describes a little bit of the World War II activities that went on here. You see, the last years that Fort Clinch was in operation, it was a joint base of operations for the Navy and the Coast Guard. Kind of looks like this guy's riding his way home. Hope it's not a Dear John letter. That kind of suck. And this right here, this is a Gatling gun. This is pre-machine gun. they could fire so much. The man who produced this kind of weapon was called Dr. Richard Gatlin. Huh. That thing looks pretty dangerous. But this display right here, it kind of talks about the third system of forts that kind of got the coastal protections of the United States. At the beginning of the vlog, I kind of told you how it was an irregular pentagon. Well, that's what I'm talking about. See, the front entrance, flat, but then you have the north point, or the north bastion, east, west. Huh. Let's see. I believe this just kind of talks a little bit about the building of Fort Clinch. Now, for the time that it was used as a Union base of basic communications or base of operations, this is, well, the personal documents of First Sergeant George D. Hughes, 1862 to 1865. Here is a roster of all those brave men who were stationed here at Fort Clinch. Looks like we have a few knickknacks and a few artifacts that they found while here at Fort Clinch. Or really just examples of what modern, or I should say, what life was like for these soldiers around the turn of the century on up to World War II. And if you all want to know what some of these artillery shells / cannonballs are being fired from some of these guns, you have some artillery shells that, well, quite honestly stand close to about 1.5 feet, or 1.5 feet to about 2 feet tall. That I would not want to mess with. Looks like they've got a few other cannonballs ranging from this bad boy right here, this dangerous one that you don't want to mess with, all the way up to, well, the grape shot. But it looks like we have a few bit of doctor's tools, and an old gun, a couple of old guns. By the way, here is just a few artifacts owned by General George D. Hughes. A couple of bags, an old hat, and an old box. Nifty. Okay, now. That, everyone, was what am I trying to say there? Fort Clinch State Park, here in Fernandina Beach, Florida. Yes, again I say, this fort is very well preserved and a very beautiful piece of history, especially something that tells so many volumes of America's military. And it's kind of a very interesting time because today, as of filming this, this is Memorial Day. So, this vlog goes out to all those men in uniform, or I should say, correction, all those men and women in uniform, all those that are bravely serving this country and keeping us safe. Everyone, remember who this day is really dedicated to. Those men and women who serve this proud country. Now, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Just goes to show that y'all care, especially, as I say, hit that bell icon. That way, you see all my videos, and you keep up to date with me on all my travels here in the Sunshine State. So you guys, I love you all very much. This is going to be my vlog for the day. Vlog over.